this is Christian. Welcome to episode 3 of our async operations using AJAX application. We have created our server in the previous video. If you've missed it, please go back and watch episode 1 and 2. But now we're going to move to the front end and create our front end application. So in this video series, I'm going to create a single page application. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's really just a single page that is able to load different content on the same page. And the technique here is to load everything dynamically without having to refresh or reload the page at all. Okay, it's a really important concept that's been used by many frameworks, as you will see. Okay, so let's go to our IDE. And previously, we created this already. I'm going to go and run the application. Control J to run it. Go to my unit 4. I should probably rename that folder here. I'll do that in a minute here. So nodemon, and that should run our app. I'm going to go and click that, click this link here, and hopefully that loads. Okay, here we go. I'm going to close. Well, that is the link with the slash, right? And our API or endpoint goes to /API and then slash. That loads everything from our model. And if you want to get a particular record, just put an ID here. Like ID 3 will give us the third book, which is the AJAX made simple. So there you go. And we were not able to do the post and the delete and the put because you cannot do that in the browser directly here. So if you have other tools like Postman or other curl or other REST API tools, you can use that to check. But we're going to do that in our application when we start building our forms. Okay, so let's go and build our form, our page first. Let's go back to the page here. All right, I'm going to go and do something here first. Let me just cancel that first. I'll do a little bit rearrangement here. I should have put this into a back-end, front-end folder so we know. So let me just close this, and I'll create inside unit 4 here a directory. Call this the back end, and then we have another one here for the front end. So I'm going to separate those two, and all of these here will be moved. All these here will be moved. Come on. Everything here move to the backend folder. Just say yes. Okay, so that is pretty much done. Now the front end. And so I'm going to create a file. I'll use this just, what should we call this? Index is pretty common, but I'm going to call it AJAX, okay? Because we're doing AJAX here. So AJAX HTML. And this will be our main single page application. And I'm going to build everything from scratch, from the ground up. Okay, so if you already built your pages, if you know what you're doing, you should, you are more than welcome to fast forward or move to a couple of videos ahead where I'll actually start doing the coding in the form. But I'm going to do everything from scratch so you can kind of see how things put into place, how things will take shape gradually. And that is, I think, one of the challenges that some of the developers and still trying to learn how to do that, right? You don't know where to start, how do you begin. And so that is something that you just have to practice a lot and get used to, right? But the first thing is that when you start, what do you do? Where do you begin? And I just want to put a one note here. If you remember IPO, okay? Oops, IPO. Come on, I don't want P. Doesn't do it. Letter P for, yeah, this is not really good. Input. Okay. Process. There you go. Output. There. I just want to say, when you write programs, all computer programs behave this way, right? You receive the input, you process it, and then the computer outputs it. And another step would be to store that, right? So this is the common 4 steps for every application. And this is based on event, right? So you receive a click event. What do? You process that. You output that. If you need to store something, you store it. And so this is the typical process for a computer program. It happens this way. But when you design your program, you don't usually do it this way. I was going to put the store out of the way. Just keep this 3 here. And I don't like this input here. Come on, just give me some text here, will you? Bam, there you go. All right. Okay, so those are the common processes. So this is for, I'll put it here. This is for when you actually coding. Well, computer process, right? that way. When you design your program, you would do it in this order. This one here comes before the input. I mean, no, that's incorrect. The output. Okay, so you kind of reverse the step here. So you would do your output first before you do your input in your process. So the designing, this is the design process, okay? Design or development process. Think about how you build a house, a car, or any, physical product. You don't just go and then, get your input. Input would be like not only data, but material, right? You don't just go and say, okay, I need this and that, and I'm gonna build a house. Usually you sketch it out, you draw the house, draw the car, whatever it is, include all the colors, the materials you need. Once you get the output design exactly what you want, okay, then you can go and get your material. And then once you get your material, that's all you input, and then you design it, you process it, right? So that's the process for designing. Okay, I know it's something that you already know, but I just want to point that out anyway. So we're doing the design output first, okay? So for us, we're going to do a front page. So a shortcut, the emmet here. Emmet is a really cool tool. And most IDEs have it. If they don't, you can always install the extension and just give you a shortcut. If I do that in Visual Studio Code, hit enter, you see that it gives me that right away, right? Just an alias for generating this HTML5 document. Really quick. And so I'll just put here AJAX app for my title. We can then what do we have inside your page here? What do you have? Well, typically you would do something like this. Maybe you have maybe a div tag. This div tag will have an ID. We'll call it main container. And we'll style these. And then down here, either it's inside or outside, doesn't matter how you do it. I'm going to put my outside. This is my footer. And then footer is quite simple. So I'm going to go and put my copyright stuff and put right in here. Open source, right? Whatever you want to put here. That's my footer. And then, and here, this is the main content of your stuff, right? So you put here, maybe you put your header here, header section, and then down here is your main content, right? Something like that. Okay, so in the header section, I'll put here an H1 for my title of the page. I'm just going to call it Asynchronous operations, and I put here AJAX, just like my title of the slide. Okay, that's my header here. I'll put on the top a navigation link. This nav will have UL, and you will style this. So it's up to you how you design this. And this is just very common. I usually do this all the time, so it just stick with my mind, and I can do that kind of quickly here. But just think about this logic, right? You have all your navigation here. What do I have here? Well, for our application, what does it look like? So let's go back to the browser a little bit. I'm going to show you what I wanted to do here. I want to have, like, at the top just a header bar with that name, big, very huge. Below that, I have like 3 or 4 buttons, maybe 4 buttons for the get, put, post and delete. And then I have a footer on the bottom here, and then in the middle, the container in the center is going to be where all your dynamic data content, right? Your forms, the data of your books, all these will be displayed in a really nice table. Okay, so let's do something like that. All right, and you can pick a color of your choice. But I think today I feel really purple, so I'm going to go and use purple for this time. But let's see what it looks like. All right, so my navigation here, I'm going to have, instead of links, I'm going to use a lot of buttons only. I won't use any link at all in my code here. I'll use a button, because links, what you do is that link will cause your page to reload, right? You don't want that. You want everything to happen very subtly and very flawlessly on the page, so that you will never see the page refreshes, right? That's the idea. So I'll put a button here, and this button will be, I'll give an ID. Let's see, I'll give an ID. Let's say, what do we call this ID here? btn get, right? The get button. Put get here. I'm just going to duplicate this a few times So you just press the Alt, I think Alt Shift, yeah, down arrow or up arrow, doesn't matter. So 4, right? 4 buttons. This is the put. There will be the post, get, post, put, and then the delete. And this will be the operations we'll be doing. So I'll put here post, then here put, delete. Okay, and you'll use JavaScript to target these, and then when you click it, you set an event listener, you listen to the event, and so on. So let's just leave it that as is. Those are my navigations. I haven't styled anything yet, so let's go down here to the bottom. And your main content here, we're not going to do anything here at all. We're going to let everything managed by our script. So I have 2 things here. The first one is I have an ID here. This will be where all your forms will be displayed dynamically. Okay, so I'm going to put here something like AJAX form or something. Okay, I'll use that for all my forms. And then down here is for my result. So I'll just put result here. Okay, and this is all I need, right? This is your front page, your single page. Anything that is going to stay static, you will come here and put it here. Anything that's dynamically generated, we'll use the script to do that. And we'll target these 2 areas to put those information here. And because you can do that, then you don't have to refresh the page at all. All right. So the very top here, let's go and add some style sheet. So I'm going to have a link to my style sheet. Oops. href. I'm going to have a CSS folder I'll create in a minute. Call it just AJAX.css. All right. And then don't forget the relationship. Sometimes I miss that, and I'll never figure out why it doesn't work. So we got that there. And then I'm going to need 2 scripts. Yeah, so I need a script. I need one for, I'm going to download AJAX, jQuery, all right? So I'm going to use scripts here. I'll put jQuery. Yeah, I'm going to download that file. I'll include that here. I'll use jQuery, and then I'll use my main script down here as well. jQuery is very nice because it has a lot of really short code you can use. Here would be again scripts, and then we put our main AJAX.js. All right, so that is what I'm going to do. And in here, I'm going to create a folder, 2 folders, CSS, and one, not inside it, one for the scripts. If you have any, images, feel free to do that as well. So AJAX.js, that's my main script. The CSS, I'm going to go create one called AJAX.css. All right. So let's go and download jQuery first. I'm going to go to the browser here. And if you have it already, you can just use that. If you don't have it, you can download it very quickly. Go to jQuery.com, I think, or is it .org? I don't remember. Yeah, that's fine. And just download this jQuery. You click on that. I can use the latest version. Should be fine. This is the one. You can, if you click on it, it's going to give you all these script. You can copy and paste it, but let's go and do a right click and then save link as, and that save it to our location if you know where it is. I think I save it inside my C drive. Where is it at? My web 2, and then for front end scripts, there it is. Drop it right in here. Okay. So we're good there. We'll leave this as is because I'm going to come back and show you the syntax for well, maybe later, but not this video. Okay, let me clear that, and let's go back to our page. There's the ID here. So there it is. My script is there, and now I can go ahead and then put jQuery there. Okay, I'm going to use jQuery to do a lot of stuff here for targeting these elements. It's really quick to do that. All right. I think that is good. Let me just run this in the browser. Now, notice you cannot run your script here, your pages from Visual Studio Code because it doesn't have a server. So if you haven't done already, I did put instructions on the course shell to show you how to do that. But if you want to run your files, and again, I mentioned earlier that AJAX must run on a server, otherwise it will not work. Okay, so I already installed an extension called live server. So if you right click on my file, you can see that I can open a live server. So there's an extension you can download from here, directly here. Just click on the extension icon and search for live server. Okay, so live server, and you're gonna see that there, and it will have the green button to install it. Just click on it, install it. Once you install that, you can come back here and you can run all your HTML file on the server. So now, if I go and click on it and run a live server, you will see that it should load, and you can see it's running on the port number 5500. This IP address is just same as localhost. It happened to use 127.0.0.1, the IP address, instead of the localhost over here. Okay, it's the same thing. It's just different port. Okay, so because now this live server is kind of cool because as long as you keep it running, any changes you make to your code, you will see the changes instantly take effect. So you don't have to come back and refresh the page, which is really nice if you're using, a dual monitor to do your code. Really, really helpful. Okay, so let's style our code here. You get everything kind of in place, but let's go and fix that and make it kind of nice. Again, you can fast forward to next video if you want to, but I'm going to do everything here and from scratch. So the first things first, what do we need to do? Well, we need to style the body, right? So the body, again, very common stuff. I want to have a text alignment. I want to center everything, center that. I want the font family to be the Arial. Yeah, just take that default one there. Margin, just 0 all the way around, and no padding. Okay, so no white spaces around any edges. So that's typically for your body. And then the next thing is the main container, right? This is the one that we just created. So I want that to be, I want to be center, okay? When you center the main container, if you do like I did here, if you do a text alignment, this means you only center what's inside the container, okay? All the child elements. If you want to center this particular element that contains this tag or this class, then you have to use the margin. Okay, so I want to center my container by doing something like margin. So you can set margin left and right to auto, and that will center that element. So I'll put the top and bottom 0, left, right will be auto, okay. Bottom, let's just put, I don't know, 10 pixel and then auto again. So really, I'm setting my left and right to be auto. That will center my container. Okay. If you want to see what that is, you can put a border around it, you can see, but that's what we usually do. And then padding would be just kind of the same thing. I put 0 all around it. I usually put 0, and then I put 0 here again, and then maybe like 25 or 50 from the bottom, and then 0 on the left. Okay, we'll see if that works. And the reason why I do this is because when I do my footer, I need some spacing in the bottom, right? And then the header is a tag, so you don't put a dot there, right? And I want to be a background color of kind of purple. Let's see, purple. Maybe not too purple. Let's see. Blue, medium. I think it's a color. Ooh, fuchsia is kind of interesting. Dark violet. Let's throw violet. Let's throw a blue violet. Yeah, blue violet. I think that's good. Keep that. You want the text to be white, and then some padding issues, right? So just say 2 for the top. On the right, maybe nothing, and then the bottom 20 px and then 0. Something very common I use all the time, so it's quite useful here. Okay, so let's see what looks like now. So as you can see, it looks kind of nice, right? For some reason, it's not center. Okay, yeah, that should be center, but looking good. So we have the main container, auto, and left. Oh, not emphasis, that's why. Text align. Didn't catch that. Okay, that should be center. So we got the header, and then next is, let's take care of the footer. The background color will be the same. Background color would be the blue violet. That's a beautiful color. The font will also be white. And I want the position to be a fixed position. It stays on the bottom. That's what you use to make your footer stay at the bottom. Stick with it. And then you want to start from the bottom at a 0 position. If you don't put 0, it's going to have a little white box in the bottom usually. And the width of this will be, let's go all the way 100% to the end of that window. And so put some padding. I'll put here, I don't know, 20 px, and then and you want to center also. So again, margin, and the top will be, let's just say top and bottom, maybe, well, top is 5. The right will be auto, bottom, you can put, let's try 0, and then the left will also be auto. So again, that's centering your information. So we got that, and let's see what it looks like. So looking good. Oh yeah, there you go. So you can see if I, refresh my size, you can see that the footer sticks at the bottom all the time, right? So very nice. So let's start a button. Let's make those kind of big and remove these dots over here. So let's go here and let's do our the navigation. Yeah, the nav ul. I want the style to be none. I don't want any dots. That's all I need for that one. I want the li, so I want to be very specific here, just in case if I have other lis, I don't want to style them. I want the display to be inline block, okay? And the reason why I use inline block is because if you set width, it would work. If you don't put inline block, if you try to put width on it, it won't work. And then I think that's it for that one. It's pretty easy enough. And then our buttons. So I'm going to use the same for all buttons, and we can modify later if you need to make some very specific changes. So the button, let's say that I want a font size to be large, or larger. I don't know. Let's try larger. How big that is. The margin, let's put maybe 2 or 3 around, all around. I want the radius to be, I'll have a border radius. Maybe like 3 or 4 pixels, and they also want a border, just to be one pixel solid, and we'll just keep it black. All right, let's see what happens. Am I missing anything here? Usually padding, maybe. Yeah, I need padding. Padding will give us some space in between the text and the edge of the border. So let's put around like 5 pixels. And see. Okay, well, yeah, it looks not bad. And also when I hover this, I want to change the background color too, and to change my mouse pointer to the hand. So let's change the width to maybe like about 100 or 200 pixel. Maybe 100 should be enough. You want the button to be uniform. So put here width. I think 100 should be enough. Okay, so that's for that one. And then let's go down here and do a button hover. When I hover the button, I want to change the background color. Let's make that a, yeah, we saw fuchsia, right? So fuchsia, beautiful color, oh my goodness. And then we want the text to be a white, I guess, no. And then we want the cursor to be the pointer. All right, let's see what that looks like. Should be working. There you go. Oh, look at that. Isn't it nice? Awesome. So when I click on it, right, I'm going to load some stuff down here. I'm not going to refresh my page at all. You see later on that when we build the code, nothing gets refreshed. You will not see that happening. Everything will be loading dynamically here. It's going to be very, very beautiful. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to do for this one. The padding might be a little bit too high here, but I think that's okay. Yeah, so I'll stop here and then we'll continue the next video, and then we'll start building our forms and put it right in here. Okay, so I hope this is going to give you a good head start. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.